So the second part of living birds that you need to set up are the bird targets. I've included the two types of targets here in the prefabs folder. There are ground targets and there are perch targets. They are both tagged appropriately. It's important that they have these tags because that's how the system finds them. LB underscore ground target for a ground target, LB underscore perch target for a perch target. The difference between these two targets is that numerous birds at one time can land on the same ground target. They will pick a random point here on the top of the target and then raycast down to the terrain or ground plane object so that they can land on the ground. A perch target, they will simply seek out this transform position and land there. If two birds try to land on one at the same time, one of them will fly away, only allowing one on a perch target at a time. I have set up an empty game object here in the scene and dragged a couple of targets in place. You can see here that I've set perch targets all the way around this barbed wire fence. I have a sphere collider on them, but that's not necessary. It's just to help you line it up. The transform position is what really matters, and the fact that they have these tags. They have to have the tags. A ground target, like this one, is a box collider that is set to trigger, again with the tag. That's very important. And I like to leave a mesh collider or a mesh renderer on the cube so that I can set them up properly. They need to overlap the terrain or ground plane. Once again, because it raycasts down to find where that plane is so the bird can land exactly on the ground. Otherwise they don't need the renderer. I just find it easier to set up that way. And it's actually nice if you're setting up a level like this, you can include these targets within your level prefabs. So if you have a tree prefab, you can include these perch targets within that prefab, or these barbed wires. They don't need to be all contained within a special bird target game object. It finds them based on the tag, so you can organize your level however you like. So you can see here I've set up some of these targets. There's one last thing that I've done here, and that is for the soldier's gun. I have gone into the script that fires a gun, and I've included a reference here to the controller. And the reason that I did that is because when the gun fires, I'm sending a message to the bird controller that all birds should flee. That's the all flee function call. And they will just fly in the air and they will go off camera and they'll unspawn. So let's load this up and see how it goes. So when the game starts, the birds are going to be spawning into place here off camera, and then they will fly in and they'll find their targets. So some of them are going to go up here and perch on the barbed wire where we set up targets. Some of them will land down here on the ground where we set up targets. The grass is high enough here that they're actually going to be kind of difficult to see landing in the grass, but you can see a couple there landing. And you can hear the song. Each bird has two songs specific to its species, so you're going to get a really realistic audioscape when you have the birds in your scene. Down here I've set up a couple more perch targets here on this fence, so you can see as the camera moves through the scene, or the player moves through the scene, the birds will congregate around the camera. So they just kind of follow you along naturally. They don't flock or do anything unnatural like that. They just kind of do their own thing, but they always make sure that they're in an area that you can see them. And so now if we fire the gun, you can see that all the birds fly away. They immediately stop calling and they fly away to unspawn. Then once they've unspawned, they will start coming back into the scene again. So that is Living Birds. I hope everyone likes it. If you have anything you would like to see me add to the package, I would love to hear from you. You can get a hold of me at help@dinopunch.com. I'd love to know what you think. Thank you very much.